Okay, Sharon, I'm just gonna do some ketamine and fuck around with the government a little. See ya!
South Park just announced season 27, and it's probably the hypest yet weirdest reveal they've ever done. They're tackling everything from Diddy to plane crashes to Elon's ketamine addiction. But why is the show known for making episodes in a week, dropping all of this news 3 months in advance? I'm gonna break it down for all of you. In the midst of the internet obsessing over the Switch 2, $80 games is crazy, South Park unveiled season 27 through both a press release and a wild trailer that's cut to a dramatic version of Blame Canada, confirming new episodes premiere this summer starting July 9th on Comedy Central. They didn't say where it'll be streaming. While this trailer got me psyched to see how they'll take on everything that's happening in the world, I couldn't help but notice how off this announcement is. South Park popping out of nowhere is nothing new, but it's usually when a new season or special is only a couple of weeks away. Season 26 was revealed on January 20th, 2023, and premiered February 8th. The End of Obesity was revealed on May 15th, 2024, and premiered only 9 days later on the 24th. And both of them had super short teasers, 15 and 30 seconds a pop. This new trailer is a freaking minute long, and has more footage than both combined. Season 26's teaser didn't even have new footage. This clip of Butters was like 10 years old. We're also getting this trailer over 3 months ahead of the premiere instead of just a few weeks. And for a topical show like South Park, a lot of the stuff in this trailer is exciting now, but some of it may be old news by the summer. Not to mention, this is the first time we're seeing a season air during the summer in 23 years. Typically they're at the beginning or end of the year. What's the strategy here? Well, it's obvious that what we're seeing is the consequence of the ongoing lawsuit against Warner Bros. Discovery. Their contract said they would get 10 new episodes a year, but 4 of those episodes were basically being jacked and turned into specials for Paramount Plus, reducing seasons to 6 measly episodes, which a lot of people weren't happy with. Specials give us the same length of content a year, but a lot of them felt like they could have just been a normal episode, and their sporadic releases made it hard for casual fans to keep track of. It just didn't feel worth it unless you were Paramount or a South Park YouTuber. This lawsuit is honestly an easy win for Warner, and every update on the lawsuit seemed to be in their favor. At the same time, their deal to host South Park on Max ends this year regardless, so making specials just doesn't make sense anymore. So odds are, the team was already working on the next special and got pretty far into production, only to be told that specials are dead in the water, leaving them with a near-finished special that they gotta do something with, and here we are. This trailer leads you to believe that all of this is from throughout the season, as they really hone in on the fact that an entire season is coming. But in all likelihood, this is probably just like the first 2 episodes, which were originally one big special, and these will be followed up with 8 new episodes made with the usual production cycle. So if anything in this trailer ends up feeling dated, just keep in mind we were probably meant to watch it now and not the summer. That said, this upcoming premiere is definitely playing catch up and covering all the hot topics, like air control and the absurd amount of plane accidents that have taken place as of late. Most notably, the tragic Potomac River collision. According to South Park, these crashes are only going to get worse, as you have Butters and a bunch of other kids running the show over at an air traffic control facility. These facilities, like far too many places, have already been struggling with understaffing, and layoffs at the FAA definitely doesn't help, as although no air traffic controllers were cut, workers who ate them are out of a job. This trailer implies that the youth of South Park are stepping in for the air traffic controllers, and they're doing a piss poor job at it. Butters working as an air traffic controller is hilarious in its own right, but it also feels like a reward for those who have kept up with the show, as it follows up on Butters entering the workforce in last season's Steak and Boss hot dogs. It's a good way to embrace continuity while building upon it in a fun way. We went from Butters kind of being the odd one out for working at his age, to him leading the Kids Next Door's B team.
That's actually hilarious.
I also wouldn't be surprised if these plane crashes tied into other moving parts in this special, like the impending war between the US and French Canada. Imagine Butters fumbling and causing a crash that involves Air Canada, which Canada then declares an act of terrorism. That feels like his kind of luck. It also looks like we're getting a bit of commentary on the LA wildfires that happened back in January, as we see the boys' entire neighborhood is engulfed in flames, with houses burning to the ground. Yet the boys are entirely unaffected, treating it as just another day. I believe Matt and Trey still reside in Los Angeles, so unless they were away for business, this might might be them writing from lived experience in the most South Park way possible. And as someone who also lives here, I know, big surprise I'm sure, this was the vibe after a couple of days. I was very fortunate enough for the fires to evade my area, but I was also pretty much surrounded by all three of the big ones, spotting flames and smoke from the top of my street and ash raining from the sky. It had me on edge pretty much the entire time, and friends not too far from me had to evacuate, although thankfully everyone was fine. With South Park taking place in Colorado though, the town burning makes me wonder if they're going to once again touch on climate change. It's something they've changed their stance on. Man Bear Pig's last appearance wasn't that long ago, and it's believed that climate change made the conditions for these wildfires 35% more likely. Definitely wouldn't be surprised if MVP and Chuck Chuck make a return. Chickenpox also seems to be on the menu, as Kyle's lying in bed with the illness and is actually morphing into a chicken. Kinda like that old Dexter's Lab short where the boy genius endured the exact same thing. This might be related to the United States no longer working with the World Health Organization, and I expect that they'll take some jabs at RFK Jr.'s role as health secretary. Oh my god! But I can only imagine that Chicken Kyle is a dream. You would think it'd be a huge focus, as Chicken Kyle is currently the face of their social media. But they did the same thing with Ozempic Cartman, who ended up being a daydream in the End of Obesity special. Also, chickenpox have been featured in South Park before without anyone turning into chickens, so, you know, probably not gonna change that now. One of the more absurd shots we get in this teaser features the return of Starvin Marvin, the starving child from Ethiopia who hasn't appeared in the show in over 20 years. And even then, his last real role was Starvin Marvin in Space back in season 3. That was 1999. By the end of Starvin Marvin in Space, the Ethiopians migrated to the planet Marklar, and I guess the South Park crew was committed to that lore. Because here, Marvin and the boys are riding in spacecrafts and strapped with various sci-fi weapons. And if that wasn't insane enough, Diddy is along for the ride. He's in an MDC prison jumpsuit, so he clearly broke out or was broken out. But he doesn't appear to be chasing the boys. They all seem to be heading towards something together. So odds are, as insane as it sounds, we're getting the boys teaming up with Diddy. Bold if true. As for why he's even there, I think Matt and Trey's crazy asses are swinging for the fences and are somehow going to tie Starvin Marvin's roots in Ethiopia to Ethiopia Haptamarium, the CEO of Motown Records from 2021 to 2022, who was named as defendant in a lawsuit against Diddy. It probably goes without saying, but she's Ethiopian American. It makes me wonder if Starvin Marvin is gonna reach out to the boys for some help against an alien crisis, and it somehow escalates into them having to bust out Diddy. It's also possible that they're going to tie all of this together to the episode canceled, and all the crazy shit going down as a result of Earth being in jeopardy yet again. I've been begging for a sequel to that episode for a couple of years now, and if this is all really from like 2 episodes, that might be the perfect premise to justify all of it. Randy has a storyline where he's a clear stand-in for Elon as he gets hooked onto ketamine. I mean, they're not exactly being subtle about it.
I'm just gonna do some ketamine and fuck around with the government a little. See ya!
It's been speculated that Musk partakes in many drugs, but one he's spoken up about is his ketamine use, saying it was prescribed by a real doctor to treat his depression, and that he has a small amount every other week, or something like that. I can only imagine this will lead to Randy having a moment similar to Elon's inauguration speech, as his connection to President Garrison paves the way for them to recreate Trump and Elon's dynamic, Randy trying to act as the shadow president, until he inevitably screws it all up with his erratic behavior. I'm pretty sure the shot of Garrison walking in on the bathroom full of shit is actually Randy's doing, and Garrison won't be happy. Speaking of President Garrison, I'm so curious how they'll follow up on the season 26 finale now that he actually is president again. They framed it as an addiction storyline, with Garrison unable to turn down the rush of rallying and the power that comes with being president. A part of him didn't want to win re-election for the sake of his relationship with Rick. I'm curious how much they'll treat Garrison as his own character versus a stand-in for Trump, as his character got very little screen time during Trump's first term. Will they try to relate Trump's actions to Garrison's presumed falling out with Rick? And will Garrison escalate political tensions as a form of lashing out? It could be really interesting if done well. We're gonna get some good jokes out of it. One thing I love is that they're combining Canada and France's ongoing beef with America with the return of the French Canadians, who are seen removing the Statue of Liberty by force, referencing France's own demands for the US to return the statue. We also have this shot of Canadians storming into battle, so I wonder if we're going to see tensions erupt into World War III. Evidently, it wouldn't be the craziest thing to happen. Finally, this trailer alludes to the return of the super best friends, as we have Moses turning around and looking rather unhinged. My prediction is that the boys will turn to the super best friends to try and unite the world together now that war is on the horizon, only to discover that the group has disbanded. Over politics, of course. If we're getting any commentary about the Israel-Palestine conflict, I feel like it'd be here, since they seem to be tackling as many topics as possible. Aside from a cameo in the pandemic special, this might be the first real appearance of the super best friends since 201, which is by far my favorite episode in the series. I made a whole video about it, so I'm excited to see what they'll do with them here. Overall, I'm excited for the new season, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let's get some theories going. How do you feel about specials potentially being over with? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.